Hey guys, Maryam here. Welcome back to my channel. I am all dressed up for Lunar New Year because today I am reviewing Pat McGrath's latest Mothership palette, Golden Opulence. In this video, expect this very fancy and a rather unique look for me, plus some swatches, a full thorough review and a verdict at the end on this new palette. Hit that notification bell so you can see all of my videos. And now let's get to it. Don't buy till I try. Remember to subscribe, comment down below. Pat McGrath Labs Mothership Golden Opulence eyeshadow palette. Team Truth. First and foremost, the packaging. This is so cool. I can't possibly get rid of this. I love this whole very festive envelope with the red and the gold. Kind of matches my nails even though they are Christmassy. We're just gonna pretend like it's for Lunar New Year. I feel like it's totally on theme, even though my backdrop isn't, but this is the last video with this backdrop and with these nails. Anywho's, very cool packaging. Pat McGrath Peace Fortune, used without caution, runway tested, Haute Health, Pat McGrath Labs 2020. Inside we have the new Mothership Golden Opulence palette. I love this shimmery but kind of matte glittery packaging. It's just so cool with the gold detailing. Pat really knows how to make these cardboard boxes look super duper high-end and awesome. Sizable mirror, 6 shades, anything you need to create a whole entire look. There are 2 matte shadows in here, Tranquility and Prosperity, as well as 4 shimmery shades. I love this yellow golden shade. It's so gorgeous. $65, limited edition, available on patmcgraathlabs.com as well as Sephora. All right, swatches time. We got the shadow names here on this clear protector. I am going to be dipping into Eternal Opulence. Bam, that delivered. Next we have Tranquility. So good. Next we have Lotus Luxe. Wow. Prosperity is next. Next we have Moon Phase. And the final shadow is Good Fortune. Indeed, that is a very fortunate swatch. What can I say? No complaints there. Everything swatched brilliantly. Now, I think it's time for us to see how they apply. I'm gonna prime my lids with you-know-what, Anti-Beauty Primer. I have no makeup on my face right now because my skin is actually finally cooperating with me and I couldn't be happier. I am just enjoying this good skin day. So I'm gonna apply my eyeshadow first and then we'll finish up the rest. Safe to say that I'm gonna start out with this shade here. Ooh, very, very powdery actually. Look at that. There's a lot of kickback, but also a lot of nice pigment. So I can't really complain. Whoa, definitely a lot of fallout with that shadow. Perhaps I picked up too much. Probably didn't need all that, but I will say it's a little bit unusual for a Pat McGrath shadow. I'm not used to seeing such dust. Applying that to my eye socket and the transition and just sweep blending it into the brow bone and into the temple. Nothing too serious. I kind of want to go for an avant-garde look or do some sort of a different technique today. I mean, this palette is in honor of Chinese New Year, which starts on January 25th and finishes on February 8th. And although I don't personally celebrate the Chinese New Year, I have the utmost respect for the Chinese culture. And so I want to pay my respects with this makeup look. Fun fact, did you guys know I am actually part Chinese? That is true. Okay, that looks rather messy. I don't know if it's me and my brush. I feel like this eyeshadow is just a little bit difficult to control. And the palette itself is just a slightly bit heavy. So I'm going to use my mirror, which is also kind of Chinese inspired. Perfect for my theme today. And I'm going to try to perfect it. I'm not really liking all these lines and this smudginess, but given the fact that I have no foundation on, I feel like I'll be fine at the end. I'll make it work as I always do. But my first impression, I don't know, something about this eyeshadow isn't really doing it for me. It was just a little too flaky. It was just a little too dusty, kind of hard to blend out. Color's beautiful, pigment is there, but it wasn't perfect, which is okay. I'm gonna take a clean brush. This is from Dominique Cosmetics, and I'm gonna try to erase some of that poor edging. Holy crap, that edging is not pretty, honey. Maybe it's my Fenty Beauty primer that isn't compatible with these Pat McGrath shadows. I don't know. I typically don't even wear primer with Pat McGrath shadows, but lately I've been wearing this primer a lot with all of my shadows, so I'm just trying to do the same thing as I always do for this review. I don't know, somehow I'm finding that blending out the shadow is just a little bit problematic. I'm gonna pick up just a little bit of shadow on the smaller brush. I'm gonna try to fix this mistake here. All right, that's sort of better, sort of. Next, I'm gonna pick up Wayne Goss 04 brush, dip into Prosperity. Also on the dusty side, also very, very pigmented. I'm gonna start layering that in the outer portion of my crease, but lifting the edge up like this. I'm gonna keep that little fluffy brush handy and just continue blending and erasing. Okay, I see what's happening here. So these two shadows are extremely pigmented, and I think it's one of those where a little bit goes a long way. It's a buildable shadow. So instead of packing it on, I would dip just once. I would tap off the excess and then gradually add more color. I like the way this eye is turning out a lot better than this eye, but I also like the technique that I'm utilizing on this eye better than I did on this one. But you know what? This is a first impression and it's my first time trying this palette. So no, I'm not an expert at it. Ooh, but I do feel like you can do something very cool with this palette. I'm gonna pick up a tiny liner brush. This one is from Lancome. And I'm gonna add the same shadow, concentrating that above my fold and lifting that towards the tail end of my brow. I know my brows aren't done yet, so I'm just imagining that they will end somewhere around here, and I'm pulling that color towards my imaginary brow line. I think I finally have a vision for this look. I'm gonna blend that out. Don't want any harsh edges or lines, but you see where this is heading. Okay, next, I think I'm ready for the next step. I'm gonna pick up my NARS tinted eyeshadow base in the shade medium. I'm gonna start adding that to the inner portion of my movable lid and also past my fold. Then I'm gonna get a flat brush like this one from Sigma, and I'm gonna gently pat that out. Basically, I am cutting that crease from the inner portion. I'm lifting that base to create this sharp oval design here. Well, mine isn't exactly so sharp because my brush isn't super duper fine, but it's good enough. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Again, I'm just applying that to the inner half of my movable lid, and then I'm patting it, looking down in my mirror, and I'm cutting that crease, honey. It's been a minute since I've done a cut crease, but this isn't exactly a cut crease. This is just a map out of my next step. All right, I'm gonna add a pinch more here just to lift it a bit more, and now I'm ready for the gold. God, I love me a good old yellow gold. Flat brush, Dominique Cosmetics, the packer, picking up Gold Fortune. Ooh, and I'm packing that on top of the base. Wow. I honestly probably didn't even need the eyeshadow base. This eyeshadow is so vibrant, so stunning. Looks like 22 karat gold. Not gonna cover the entire lid, but I am gonna come very close to the edge here. That's really pretty. Next, I'm gonna wipe that brush, pick up this guy right here, Moon Phase. I'm gonna blend that with the gold right here from the center to the outer portion, just like that. Now this look has some dimension, not just like a flat gold blob. Going back to my little tiny brush, I'm gonna pick up this shadow and just clean up this portion right above the inner part of the lid. Same thing on the other side. Very gently going over the border and cleaning it up. I'm gonna do the same thing with the darker shadow now. I'm gonna add that to the outer portion right here. Keeping that blending brush handy, gently blending out those edges. I will say there is a lot of fallout with all of these shadows. The bronze shadow, the brown shadow. I mean, there's a lot. There's also a lot of pigment. That is true indeed. But man, next I'm ready for my makeup wipe. I grab this rose one from PIXI, clean right underneath the eye, and then I'm gonna do something crazy. I'm gonna keep my finger here for steadiness, and I am going to do that. I'm gonna basically clean up my top lash line in a diagonal all the way to my temple and into the hairline. Like that. You might need to do this several times to really get the straight edge, but this is the idea. I'm gonna do the same thing on my other eye. Make sure that both of these wings are pointing in the same direction so that one isn't much higher than the other. In my case right now, this one is looking just a little bit lower, so I'm gonna have to re-emphasize that. Yes. Some cleansing water, and I'm gonna clean it up some more. Boom. Be careful not to stretch your skin too much or too far. All right, now I think I'm ready for some brows. Brows are on, and now I am thinking I really need to get into the mood of this Lunar New Year. I'm thinking an outfit change might be nice. How'd I do that? Dress is on. Now I'm feeling like I'm starting to channel those princess vibes. Next thing I'm gonna do is work on my skin. I have this new Farzali liquid powder oil balancing serum. What? Now because I'm filming this video also for the gram, we're gonna do some very Instagrammy drip drops. I'm gonna apply that just to my oily zones, which is basically the center of my face, my chin, my nose, and my forehead, and in between my brows. Definitely feels amazing on the skin. It smells really fresh. You know what? Because I have some excess, I'm just gonna pat that into the rest of my skin just to make everything nice and even and matte, honey. Ooh! It honestly does feel really powdery on the skin. And indeed, I look completely matte. Next thing that I'm gonna do, stop texting me. Oh, hey Sophie, hey girl. I have this other new product that I'm testing out, this Pore Putty by Peter Thomas Roth. This is also one of those skincare to makeup hybrids. You can use it as skincare as the last step to your routine, or you can wear it underneath your makeup as a primer. That is what I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna warm it up in between my fingers and just pat that all over this very stubborn, porous area that I hate so much. You know what's crazy? People with dry skin don't usually get open pores. People with normal skin don't get open pores, but people with oily skin just goes hand in hand. But at least we don't wrinkle as easily. There's always an upside to everything. All right, my skin is looking really good, but very, very pale. So we're gonna fix that in a sec. I got my Dior Forever matte foundation. I'm gonna work that on the back of my hand first. I'm gonna stipple that foundation all over. Wow, this foundation, because it's a drier type of foundation, it's actually a little tricky to apply on top of that Farzali liquid to powder serum. Even with my oily skin, I would say this combo is tricky to blend out, but it's doable and it's not impossible. I find it so difficult to blend foundation around my eyebrows once they're already complete. So if you see me making any mistakes, don't judge me. Nothing that a little concealer can't correct. For my concealer today, Benefit Boing Cakeless. I'm gonna use the other end of my foundation brush. This is the IT Cosmetics Complexion Perfection to buff out all of this concealer in between the brows. Wish I had a beauty blender, but I don't. I'm gonna use a Q-tip for this very delicate area here. Cleaning up that edge. I'm gonna take a much smaller brush. And boom. Powder, LC Cosmetics. Powdering right between the brows. Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish for the rest of the face. All right, now I'm ready to bronze up. MAC Canyon Dreamin' Bronzer. This is my favorite bronzer from 2019 and the one that I reached for the most. Just gonna add a little bit of definition and dimension to my face, but not too much because I still wanna maintain that very clean, almost shadow-free sort of finish. Kind of going for that porcelain doll effect. For my blush today, I'm thinking something pink from this Jouer Rose Cut Gems palette, just right here on the very apple of my cheek. And now going back to the eye look. Picking up the same palette, I'm gonna grab a clean brush and hopefully I can find one. Picking up Eternal Opulence. And I'm gonna do two things. First, I'm gonna add a smidge of that to the inner corner and just blend with that brown, softening this whole area. And then I'm gonna highlight my brow bone right underneath the brow. Just dip my brush into the wrong shadow. All right, so I already completed my wing on this side just for quickness. Now I'm gonna use my razor sharp liner from Urban Decay. Do the same thing on the other eye. Basically, I am drawing a line right along the edge of that eyeshadow, not touching my outer corner. So I'm leaving some space where my normal wing would actually take place. Also using very, very gentle strokes to assure that I don't make any mistakes. Once I have the basic shape, I'm gonna start thickening that wing and I'm gently adding in more product. All right, and now I definitely need to let it dry. Also gonna extend my inner corner here and very gently create an inner corner wing. I'm gonna use my Schwing liner just to perfect this edge here. And I'm gonna wait for everything to dry. All right, for my highlighter today, I'm gonna use my Dior Quad. I don't know, maybe a mixture of all these three. Then I'm gonna take a really small brush with the lightest highlighter. I'm gonna come up really close to my liner and basically fill in that whole space that's missing liner. Then I'm gonna take this Brilliant Eyes from L'Oreal in the shade Crystal Shine. I'm gonna add a smidge of that right here underneath my liner and then blend that out. I'm gonna add a pinch more of that shadow and then blend it out with my finger. Kind of like that so it meets with the highlighter. All right, so I'm about to apply my lashes. These are Love Lashes in the style Bella. Basically, I am adding these in a diagonal on top of my black liner, but not touching the negative space, just like that. I don't know where I'm going with this look, but it is definitely avant-garde and very artistic. One final thing I'm gonna do is reach for this shade, Lotus Luxe, only shade that I haven't yet tried. I'm gonna add just a bit of that underneath my inner corner wing. All right, now that I've extended this color, I'm also gonna blend it out a few just so that it's not too harsh. I'm gonna go ahead and re-emphasize my inner corner wing. Mascara on my lower lashes, Essence Lash Princess in Waterproof. Gonna add just a few twiggies because they're so necessary. And I think my eye look is almost complete. One final thing, just because I'm feeling extra creative today, I'm gonna pick up my Urban Decay Heavy Metal Glitter Liner. I'm gonna add a really tiny line of gold right here just to further separate this lid color from the crease. For my lips today, I'm thinking I need something kind of dark, but not red. So I'm gonna go for this NARS Precision Lip Liner in the shade Rouge Marocain, Moroccan Red. Gonna go ahead and line my lips. I'm gonna fill in my lips ever so slightly, and then for my lip color, I'm gonna use this Sexy Lipstick Pen in Rock and Wine from Romanova Makeup. All right, my look is now complete and I am totally in character. I have nowhere to go, but I am so eager to recreate this for Lunar New Year, which I will be celebrating this year. I am so super duper inspired. I love the colors. They're really speaking to me. And this look is honestly something that I don't typically wear, but I think it's quite me. Anyways, onto the palette. This $65 palette from Pat McGrath, the mother herself, is a really beautiful palette. 6 shades, kind of pricey for $65. Although these shades swatch really well, I think there's a slight learning curve to applying these, given the fact that they are so pigmented and a little bit on the dusty side. So I wouldn't call these Pat McGrath's best shadows. I would say they're actually pretty different from some of her other creations, but it's not something that I wouldn't necessarily reach for again. I'm a fan of this beautiful yellow gold. I think the color just pops. It's one of those universal golds that's so standout and would look good on just about anyone. Would I recommend this palette? Yes, if you have $65 to spare. However, if you already have these shades, then you might just want to recreate my look using the shades that you already have. That's it. I've said my piece. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching and for subscribing. Rate this look from 1 to 10. I give it a 20 because I'm feeling myself right now. Wishing you guys health, love, prosperity, and good fortune this year as well as today and every day. Check out some of my other videos right here. I put them there for a reason so you could click on them. I love you guys and I will see you in the next one. Mwah!